What up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? It's Dr. Do. We back again. I'm officially a YouTuber, you heard me? As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, you heard me? Because I need y'all to do that. When Dr. Do make it big, don't be one of them people that can't say, oh, I was on it. I was on it when he first started. I was on it when he was on that rooftop with that downtown in the background. Don't be one of them people, you heard me? So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and we're going to jump right into it. Today, we talking about anxiety. Anxiety. Whew. I already know. Yeah. We're going to bust it down today, y'all. We're going to talk about what anxiety is, how it can impact you, and what you could do to better manage your anxiety. So, jumping right into it, what is anxiety? Anxiety is both a mental and physical state of negative expectation. Anxiety is characterized by increased arousal, increased apprehension, which ultimately results in worry, stress, and overall bodily discomfort. Also, physically, anxiety is characterized by activation of certain physiological systems. So our muscles, right? Our muscles can experience tension. We can also experience like stomach aches and other things that come up in our body. So physically, bodily systems can be activated when we talk about significant anxiety. Everything that we experience with anxiety, believe it or not, is actually useful and beneficial. And it's a natural aspect of our humanness. The key to anxiety is actually to help us facilitate our response to fear or danger, real or imagined. But if actually real, it helps us to be able to get out of those situations. Case in point, if you about to cross the street, you look both ways, you start going across the street, but then you notice you miss a car. Now the car coming at your full speed, what you gonna do? You just gonna stand there? No, you gonna try to move out of the way. Your natural bodily response to that is to get worried. We talk about flight or flight, right? You're gonna get worried, and that's gonna actually get you to do something. Hopefully move out the way so you don't get hit by the car. But again, the key here is anxiety actually has a function. The problem is when anxiety becomes too real or too consistent and too pervasive, and it impacts our daily functioning, that's when anxiety becomes potentially characterized as a disorder. One more thing to think about when it comes to anxiety too. Anxiety can actually be helpful for us to be productive, right? So if we don't have enough stress or worry about anything that we have to do, whether it be brush our teeth, get homework done, get a project or assignment done for work, if you ain't got enough kind of activation, you're probably not gonna do that. So I like to talk about it with my clients as a continuum, like that natural curve on a graph. Everybody has seen the curve on the graph before. So you start at that beginning, no anxiety, right? So we just unmotivated, we ain't doing nothing. But then as we start to actually think to ourselves like, okay, man, I gotta do this. So then, it start going up. And then our anxiety or stress can get to a certain point, that peak point, that sweet spot. That's what we like to have. That's when we are most productive. And that's different for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. But then what we see is, as stress and worry and anxiety continues to go along, our performance and our ability to get stuff done actually becomes impacted. It becomes harder for us to get things done when the more anxiety that we experience. So I hope that makes sense. If you got any questions about that, definitely holler at me in the comment section. Ultimately, anxiety helps us to be able to protect ourselves from dangerous situations. So if we don't get anxious in certain situations, that could be the difference between us continuing to live this life or being gone. Anxiety really helps us to facilitate our response to negative or dangerous situations. So if you don't get anxious if a car coming at you full speed, or you don't get anxious if a bear running at you full speed, then you're probably not gonna make it. But again, because we experience that stress and worry in certain situations, that actually helps us to be able to continue to go throughout our lives in a safe, protected way. Mentally, anxiety can look like continuous feelings of dread, fear, and worry, and just overall kind of like negative thoughts, right? That's what it can look like from a mental perspective. Physically, anxiety could look like racing heartbeat, sweaty palms, muscle tension, or just overall bodily discomfort. Those are some of the physical things that we can experience when we're talking about anxiety. Anxiety is designed to capture our attention, which stimulates us to do something in moments where we feel unsafe, or to be able to get things done that we need to get done. Anxiety is also important to help us stay motivated to get things that we need done and to continue to be productive throughout our lives. So why do we experience anxiety? Like, what is that about? Why we gotta have that? Like, why I gotta be anxious? Why I can't just be free all the time? Why I can't be, you hear me? Like, What is that about? Anxiety can be considered the price we pay as human beings for being able to see into the future. If we couldn't see into the future, anxiety might not exist. But because we can, that can cause us worry. So if we know that we got a big test coming up and we ain't studied for it, it makes sense that you're gonna be anxious about that. You know, if you know at a certain age something in your life might happen that might be scary, that's something to worry about too. But if we wasn't able to think into the future, then we wouldn't have to worry about anxiety so much, because we will always be in the present moment, or we will be without the future moments coming into our mind. So I know a lot of times people will be like, people who don't plan are planning to fail. And that's true, that has some truth to it. But again, living in the present moment is what really can help us to manage our anxiety and to not let our anxiety impact us in the ways that it can. I'll talk more about living in the present and also what it means to be present when we talk about mindfulness and meditation and how that can be helpful in managing anxiety. So, what are the types of anxiety? I'm glad you asked. We got a bunch of them, y'all. It's a lot. So we got generalized anxiety, social anxiety, phobias, agoraphobia, anxiety due to a medical condition, anxiety due to or stimulated by substance use, separation anxiety, panic disorder, and unspecified anxiety disorder. I'm not going to go into detail on any of those just because I can make a whole video on each of those. But if you have questions about any of the types of anxiety disorders, make sure to put that in the comment section and we can rap all night about that. So moving right along to the impacts. The impacts of anxiety. Persistent and pervasive anxiety can really do a number on our daily life. So we talking about being able to complete daily activities. We talk about managing our relationships, being able to go to work, just do the basic things that we need to do to live a life. When anxiety gets to the point where it's impacting them things in a significant way, that's when what you're experiencing can be characterized by anxiety disorder. Believe it or not, about a third of adults in the United States at some point will experience a significant bout of anxiety in their life. Hey, don't blame me, that's just what the research said. So if you haven't had that yet, you got to look forward to. But that's alright though, because I'm going to give you some stuff that you could do to manage that, or be able to handle that whenever it come up for you. So let's talk about that. How do I manage my anxiety? How do I reduce my anxiety? Plenty of different ways, y'all. Plenty of different ways to deal with the anxiety. First things first, therapy. Huge proponent of therapy. I'm a therapist myself. All of the things that I'm going to talk about after therapy are things that you might actually be doing in therapy with your therapist. And for those of you who are already in therapy, you probably already know about some of these and probably have practiced and exercised some of these already. So we'll jump into them. First one is challenge your thoughts. Challenge your thoughts for distortions. A lot of times we be thinking about stuff that's really not the truth. But until we ask ourselves, or until we challenge ourselves about what we thinking about, we might continue to believe that that actually might happen, when it really not. Self-talk, y'all. Pay attention to how you talking to yourself. When you wake up in the morning, what kind of things you say to yourself? When you're on your way to work, or when something bad happens, like what do you say to yourself? Self-talk could be something as simple as, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna make it through this. It could happen, but even if it do happen, I'm gonna be alright. These are little basic self-talk strategies that can help you to really change the way you think and change the way you feel whenever you're feeling anxious about a particular situation or a particular something that might or might not happen. Next tip for managing anxiety is exposure. So exposure is based off the premise that the little bit you expose yourself to something that you're afraid of, over time, you'll start to be able to better manage the fear and the anxiety that you experience about that thing. So when we talk about exposure, what we're really talking about is incrementally exposing yourself to a situation, and over time, as you continue to increase that, you'll start to notice the anxiety and fear you experience about that situation, you experience it to go down. Alright, so the example that I have is for all my divers out there. So with dive, they got different heights that you dive from, right? I believe it's 3 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot. I might be a little off right there, but you get the point. So before you could get to the 10 foot, if you were afraid of the 3 foot, maybe you might just have to start off jumping off the ledge of the pool. Do that a couple times. Do that however many times you need to. And if you need to, before going to the 3 foot, you can find something in between. Find a little box that you can put on the ledge and jump off the box before you go to the 3 foot. Once you get to the 3 foot, do the 3 foot thing for however long you need to do it. Then you go to the 5 foot, or maybe you go to the 4 foot if you could find out how to make that happen, right? It's just exposing yourself a little bit and a little bit at a time and then over time, the anxiety you experience, it'll go down a little bit. We're not looking for it to go down all in one shot, because we know that that's not usually how life go. We want a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. That's exposure. Medication. Medication can be an option. Medication can really be an option in situations where anxiety is really crippling. That's kind of the way I look at it. I don't think medication is always the best way to go, just because of some of the side effects that people can experience. But I do believe medication can be helpful. For people who experience anxiety in a very significant way, I definitely think medication is an option to help better manage and to help you be able to get along in your life. Mindfulness and meditation, probably my favorite. I'm a mindfulness junkie, y'all. I fool with the mindfulness tough. And what we talking about when we talk about mindfulness, we talking about being able to pay attention to your breath, be able to be in the present moment, let your thoughts come in and let them pass away. That's mindfulness 101. There's also meditation as well. Meditation is more of a concentrated effort. So you're really kind of locking in and being with yourself about a particular scenario or about a particular thought or idea, and really concentrating and allowing yourself to be with that. It's kind of like imagery a little bit too, but we want to focus more on the mindfulness piece. So when we talking about mindfulness and anxiety, what we talking about is being able to really control that breath and really be with our breath. Mindfulness exercises and breathing exercises can be helpful to calm our parasympathetic nervous system. It's literally been proven, y'all. It's proven and proven time and time again that if you can pay attention to how you feel, be in the present moment, and pay attention to your breath, you can literally start to feel your body calm down. So one of those is going to be diaphragmatic breathing, and that's basically just breathing with the stomach. So when you breathe in, you want to push that thing in, and when you breathe out, you want to push out the stomach. So we'll go ahead and do one. Get comfortable in your chair, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. It's that simple, y'all. You want to do that maybe 5 or 6 times. I'll tell you what, you do it however many times you need to do it. Because really and truly, it's different for everybody. And the only way that you can really start to see the benefit of this is to continue practicing doing it. You don't just do it one time and then it works for the rest of your life. It's something that you got to kind of build into your routine. You got to build into your life, because it's going to help you to be able to better manage the anxiety you experience. Mindfulness and meditation. Man, I can't tell y'all enough about that, man. I fool with the mindfulness, you heard me. Similar to mindfulness and meditation also is progressive muscle relaxation. So what that's going to be is, you really want to find yourself a comfortable situation, and you're really going through the whole body, and you want to try to tense up your muscles for different areas of your body, and then you release them, right? And that's another way to kind of relax your body, and to kind of relax that parasympathetic nervous system, to calm you down and to be able to better get your thoughts better organized. So again, you can start from your forehead, come down to your mouth, clench your teeth, release. You got your chest, stomach, hip, like all the way down. You can go all the way down, making sure you tense up for 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and then you let it go, right? Progressive muscle relaxation. Regular exercise. I can't stress the importance of exercise either. I'm pretty sure some people, when you go to the doctor always say, make sure you're getting your exercise in, make sure you're getting your exercise in, and people be like, man, whatever. Man, look, don't underestimate the power of exercise. If you get outside, get your heart rate going, lift a little weights, just put some kind of physical challenge on your body. Now, I ain't telling you to go out there and run a mile. I ain't telling you to go out there try to lift 400 pounds. I ain't saying do all that. But all I'm saying is making sure that we regularly exercise our body, we regularly get our heart rate up. That helps our body. What regular exercise does is it helps us to release muscle tension. Simple. So you want to go for a run, you want to lift you some weights, you want to go do some yard work, whatever it is, just make sure that you get your heart rate up and that you're giving your muscles a chance to operate. And then that way, when you sleep at night, we get that natural repair, that natural recovery from sleep at night after exercise is a part of what helps us to be able to manage and lessen experiences of anxiety. Food and diet, y'all. What you eating? What you putting into your body? You want to try to be eating real food. You want to be trying to eat food that's of the earth. Keep it as natural as you can. If it ain't came from a plant, or if it ain't came out the earth, that don't necessarily mean it's bad. But if you do experience anxiety, certain things that you're eating can actually be contributing to the anxiety that you experience. The last one I got for y'all today is to be kind to yourself, y'all. Be kind and give yourself some grace. A lot of times we get ourselves into situations where we get so hard on ourselves, or we worry so much about things, that we really being unkind to ourselves, and we're really not taking it easy on ourselves in a way that can allow us to actually be better in whatever it is that we're doing. So I just say, go do something nice for yourself. Have a conversation with yourself that's a kind conversation, that's an easygoing conversation. It don't always have to be tight. It don't always have to be, oh, I gotta do this, or oh, I gotta feel like this. Because a lot of times that stuff can become routine. It can become a daily part of our life, and before you know it, we might be experiencing anxiety in a way that we ain't even know about. So again, be kind to yourself and make sure you're giving yourself some grace. And that's it. That's anxiety. That's anxiety 101 for y'all today, you heard me? I hope this was helpful. I hope I said some things that made sense. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like beezy and subscribe to the channel. Because again, I'm telling y'all, when I make it to that thing, you heard me? When I make it up there, don't be one of the people who wasn't on me, because now I'm just playing around, y'all. But again, support the channel. I appreciate y'all. I hope something I said was helpful, and we're going to keep banging it out. I'm going to give y'all some more tips on anxiety and other mental health conditions, and we're going to rock from there. Appreciate y'all. Peace.